So in this video, I'm going to make this wild early spring salad, and with a strawberry vinaigrette that I put together. There are some strawberries and carrots in here, but there's also garlic mustard. There's violets. There's ramp leaves, ramp bulbs, cattail, some catnip, as a matter of fact, and creeping Charlie. So we're going to go ahead and put this together. Show you how to put this together. And yeah, let's give this a try. Let's give it a go. Alright, I'm going to try to improvise an early springtime salad with all these delectable delicacies that have come up. And most likely, based on what I have, it'll be very pungent, because we're going to add ramps, we're going to add some catnip, there's going to be some creeping Charlie. The violets will be a very kind of mild flavor, but they'll kind of add the filler. Then there will be garlic mustard, and we'll add some cattail. So first off, I've washed everything, right? So I just, make sure there's just critters and dirt and stuff with all of that. So I'm going to take some of these dandelion leaves, because I'm going to use them for another purpose. And again, you can steam these dandelion bulbs. You can steam these, and they're really quite tasty before they become a flower. They're not bad. You can actually also pickle those as well. So set those aside here. And let's see here. And you can add the whole thing. And again, I'm just going to coarsely chop, right? Some of the stems, the ends part, I'm going to get rid of. You don't have to, but just for the sake of presentation. Some of the chewy leaves you want to kind of get rid of for presentation. But yeah, I'm just going to coarsely chop these here. Nothing major. No special culinary skill needed for that. I'll go ahead and put these in a strainer for another rinse. These are dandelion by itself is quite bitter, but it's a good type of bitter. It's good for you kind of bitter. Okay. We're also going to take some of these ramp tops. I'm not going to take too many. I probably just, maybe this stock here, right? I'm going to take probably 2 bulbs, because again, ramps tend to be very pungent. Yeah. Okay, so they can overpower. We'll get rid of the beard here from the root, and again, I'm just going to coarsely chop these here, kind of roll them. And you're going to just add to your taste or your liking if you choose to try this. Okay. Again, with wild edibles, you got to make sure that you're not allergic to them. The thing about this type of salad, a wild salad, is a lot of wild edibles have had to fight because they're wild. So they are full of nutrients. Okay, most of what we get in the store is very filled with it's predominantly water. Okay, they're probably, so the nutrient level isn't as high as some of the wild edibles that you can find. So you don't need to eat very much. I mean, you'll eat a small amount and be really full, okay? Because your bodies, we're just accustomed to eating watered down vegetables, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and kind of chop these, just slicing these bulbs up. And yeah, we'll leave that there. Now I'm gonna pick off some of these catnip leaves. Catnip is edible, and it makes a good tea. So I'm gonna dry these out. Dry the catnip that I did harvest, and just add that. And the stem here, we might be able to do something with the stem. So I'm not gonna get rid of it entirely. So I think I could probably dry and powder out the stem. Okay, so next we're going to add the some of our violets. Okay, so it's going to take me a little bit, because all we want with the violets are just the leaves. So, and again, violets are very mild to the taste. So these are just going to basically be our filler. Okay, next we're going to add the garlic mustard leaves. Now the whole plant of garlic mustard here is it's garlicky, even the roots. But what we want is really just the leaves this time. We'll even add the flowers. Actually, I'll set the flowers aside. So I'll just, again, just adding, but I don't want to add too much because even though garlic mustard can be a bit overpowering. Okay. So again, this is already going to be a pungent salad, so we're going to try to balance that out with some other ingredients and dressing. So I think we're getting there close. At least it's for a quick salad, just to kind of show you what you can do. The late Linda Runyon said, and she has some great videos and taught me a lot of things about foraging and wild edibles, because she lived on a homestead and that's what she did. She raised children off of those practices. And her phrase is look down, eat up, because you're walking on your food. And so a lot of this you can get out your yard, you know, especially if you have a wooded area in your yard. A lot of these plants, you know, you're probably killing them with pesticides, or you're just trampling them over, or mowing them down. And a lot of these are very nutrient thick, and they'll help supplement, especially in the year 2024 when, you know, things are a little bit tight. Okay, so you can supplement you reduce your grocery bill by going out and harvesting your own foods that are essentially free. Only thing costs you is time. So next here we have some cattails. Okay, so I'm just going to pick a couple of these, and these are young cattails. They're you know, they're still kind of small-ish. I think next week they'll be next weekend. It's a Sunday this weekend. They'll be probably in a better spot, a little bigger. All right, and for the cattails, set these aside. So really for the cattails, what we want, I'm just cut off some of the ends here that are a little gritty, like that. So I can already smell the ramps take over. We can get rid of this here, but we really want to chop these. Or we'll take this large one here, for example, and you can take this and you kind of start to strip away. They're like a green onion in a way, although they don't taste anything like a green onion. They taste more like a cucumber. You want to get rid of the fibery stuff. You want to break these down to the core here, and basically where there's no leaves left. Okay, so this is basically going to be pretty succulent up until where you start to see it get fibrous. Okay, when it gets fibrous, then it just gets chewy. Okay, but right up until about right here, you can kind of eat all the way up. So I'm going to process these and get these ready for chopping. I want to keep the fibrous leaves because there's some crafts we can do with these. Let them dry out, and we can probably make another video on that. Alright, so how I'm processing these cattails is that they're, you know, again, I'm just pulling off some of the leaves. This is a larger one, and these are fairly young, and so they're going to be pretty succulent from the bottom up, right? So I want to get rid of this outer husk here, and I can kind of break into it a little bit, kind of peel it like that, and then just take the outer husk down. And there's like a narrow piece in there. The very white parts you can totally eat, just, you know, right out of the lake or whatever. But we don't want the fibrous leaves, a bit chewy. But then we can start, once we start to peel it down like an onion, we start to start to get some of the succulent bits out, right? So this will start to break open like that. Again, this is probably all, this is all edible, but we want kind of this soft inner core, like right there, okay? And this kind of goes almost all the way up like that. So all of this, except for this, you know, it's got a little crunch to it. But almost all of this, almost to about right here, is edible. It's soft. So that's really kind of what I'm doing here. And then I'm gonna chop these up and add them to our salad. So that's how you process it. When they're a little bigger, it's more evident. But right now these are really young, so these are perfect. Okay, so now we got our cattails prepped. We can just kind of loosely chop these. They look like green onions, but they're not. And we can add this to our salad. Like that. And I can set these aside and let them dry out. Alright, lastly, we're just going to add a few creeping Charlie leaves. Again, creeping Charlie is a species of mint. There's real earthy, it's very hard to describe. It's its own earthy, green, minty, yeah, but definitely high on the earthy tones, notes, right? Basically, if anybody, you know, you mow your lawn and you go over a patch of creeping Charlie, you know what it smells like. Not necessarily like grass, you know. So it's got that earthy, minty smell / flavor. So your sense of smell is closely tied to your sense of taste. So if you ever plug your nose, that's why people plug their nose when they eat something they don't like. Whenever you plug your nose, you tend not to taste. You can sense flavors with your tongue, sweet, sour, bitter. But as far as tasting a flavor, you need your nostrils. You need your sense of smell. All right, so here is our salad, all set to be tossed together. And I'm going to rinse these again one more time. Okay, and then we're just going to put this in here, put everything together. And I like to use my hands. Yes, I left some of the stems on of the violets, and that's okay. They're nice and crunchy and succulent, so they'll add some texture to it. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of blend everything together. So basically tossing this together. You can definitely smell the ramps in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to garlic mustard. Some of this might need to be chopped a little bit because they're too big. That's okay. Got everything mixed together now. What we can do is at this stage, this is a whole wild edible plant salad, right? And just in and of itself, you can eat it like this, okay? So, but what I'm gonna do is, let me see, I wanna see if I have any carrots for color. So it's gonna be really colorful too when we're done. I'm gonna add some carrots for color, and I have another surprise. Alright, so we did have a carrot here. Just cut off the undesirable parts here. You can probably grow another carrot from this end here too if you wanted to. And so what I'm going to do is I have a little gimmick. Here that I can go ahead and I can kind of do some shavings in here. That'll just add for a little bit of color, a little bit of texture. I could whittle this all the way down. I could chop this. I could mince this. You know, you can add tomatoes if you wanted to, spinach leaves. You know, whatever. Sky's the limit. Meat, into whatever meat you want to add. Okay. So I don't want to add too much because I just want it for color, to be honest. But I can make this a carrot-based wild salad as well, right? So I'm gonna set this aside, and then what I'm gonna do is go ahead and plate this. Well, we're gonna mix it up first a little bit. All right, so add some color and things like that. I'm gonna go ahead and plate this. Pieces there. Okay. I got this plated. Alright, so now what we can do for a presentation is we can add these are the garlic mustard flowers. And then we have our violet flowers, okay, both the white and the purple as a garnish to make it pretty. Here's what we have for our wild salad, completely wild. Everything in here has been harvested today, except for the carrots. And of course, if you grow carrots out of your garden, there you go. There are wild carrots that you can harvest, but they're later on in the year. It's usually midsummer, and you have to be careful with wild carrots because they do have a poisonous look-alike. Okay, so I don't really mess with plants that have close look-alikes. All right, like that. So, but there are such things as wild carrots. They're not orange. They're more whitish, and I have a video where I go into it and that, but not for the sake of this one. I don't want to confuse people. So the surprise ingredient is a a strawberry. Okay, it's not a wild strawberry, obviously. This is a freaking mutant strawberry, but wild strawberries are much smaller. I remember as a kid playing on the train tracks in southern Indiana and finding a patch of wild strawberries. Me and my buddy were like, what are these red things? And we looked down and they were little strawberries. It was awesome. And day, and it was a hot day as well, and we were playing by the train tracks, and there were wild strawberries growing. So just want to add this for a little bit of color here and flavor, because like I mentioned, this is going to add some sweet to the pungency. Okay. All right. So. And there you go. So this is what it looks like when we're all done, but proof is in the pudding when we taste it. Okay. Okay, before we dig in, I'm going to go ahead and make a quick vinaigrette out of some strawberries. My grandmother used to do this a lot. She'd go strawberry picking in the summertime and get a whole bunch of strawberries so that she could can, but then oftentimes you just take the strawberries and mince them and add some sugar to them and just let them sit in the fridge, and they make this nice kind of syrupy concoction that's good for toppings, you know, for pies, or good for ice cream especially. So we're going to make a quick strawberry vinaigrette, and that should balance out the pungency with all of the garlic and the ramps that's going to be in this dish. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use a little bit of this because I've got some more ice cream left. I'll use this as a topping for that. And I'm going to use a little bit of white vinegar, just to balance out the sweetness. I'm going to add a little bit add some olive oil for the oiliness and flavor. And then some ground pepper. And then just a dash of sea salt. think that's about it. Normally, you'd probably add some garlic to this, and as a base vinaigrette. Okay, quickly made. Take your whisk or your fork and just kind of blend everything together. Put it in the bottle. You can shake it up. This you'd have to keep in the fridge. This won't, vinaigrettes. You have to keep in the refrigerator. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's good enough. All right, so before we actually add the vinaigrette to our salad, I like to taste my food, raw foods especially. I like to taste them before they're, before I put anything on them. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna use a little bit of this because I've got some more ice cream left. I'll use this as a topping for that. And I'm going to use a little bit of white vinegar, just to balance out the sweetness. I'm going to add a little bit add some olive oil for the oiliness and flavor. And then some ground pepper. And then just a dash of sea salt. Okay, and I think that's about it. Normally you'd probably add some garlic to this, and as a base vinaigrette. Okay, quickly made. Take your whisk or your fork and just kind of blend everything together. Put it in the bottle. You can shake it up. This you'd have to keep in the fridge. This won't, vinaigrettes. You have to keep in the refrigerator. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's good enough. All right, so before we actually add the vinaigrette to our salad, I like to taste my food, raw foods especially. I like to taste them before they're, before I put anything on them. Alright, so we've got our salad dressing made, which is a vinaigrette, a little strawberry vinaigrette. And but before I douse this with dressing, I want to try this without anything at all. I just want to try it naturally, see how everything blends together, and that gives appreciation to the food itself. Alright. Nice earthy blend. I can taste the garlic, mustard, the ramps are in there. I can taste the smoothness of the violets. A little strawberry in there. The cattails will be kind of, if I've added more cattails, to be able to taste it. I can taste the catnip. That adds a nice complement to it. And again, this type of salad, you don't need a whole lot. Right? If you choose to try this, you'll find that a little bit goes a long way because of the nutrients. It'll fill you up like that. The first time I ever had a wild salad was at my first time at the tracker school. And that was how they taught you about wild edibles. They took you around the farm and you harvested things. And then everything that people harvested, they put together in a big salad. I have a picture of it. I'll see if I can post a link to it. I can't remember the person's, if I do find it, I can't remember the name of the person who put the salad together, but it was a big bowl because they're feeding a lot of people. One of the best salads I've ever had, and it didn't take too much to fill us up. So, it's been a while. I've wanted to make this video, and everything was just perfect. The conditions were perfect. The day was perfect to go out and harvest. So, there you go. Excuse me, I'm talking with my mouth full. Anyways, we'll add just a little bit of the vinaigrette. Yeah, that's a good compliment. It's a good blend. So there you go. It's a wild edible salad. Look down, eat up as you're walking on your food. All it's going to cost you is a little bit of time. Alright, so I'm going to get a second opinion because it's one thing if it's just me eating it. So you go ahead, I added the vinaigrette to that. So it's just basically the leafy vegetables that I harvested today plus some strawberries and carrot. I don't know what you think. Oishi. Is it good? Yeah. Not bad. It's really light. Do you taste the ramps in there? Did I add more ramps maybe?
I don't think I have
Oh yeah.
ramp in my. No, oishi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
it's really
dandelion.
good.
Thank you. There's a dandelion, the strawberries, carrots.
Yeah, I expected it to be a little
Real
bit
earthy.
bitter, but
No.
it's not bitter.
Yeah.
It's good.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.